Hey at Junior World, let's get straight to it. The air-fuel ratio is crucial for your car's performance. It's the mix of air and petrol your engine needs to run. Don't worry, this isn't a boring science class. Think of it like making tea. Too much water and it's weak, too much tea and it's bitter. Your engine needs the right mix of air and fuel for the best results. The perfect mix is called stoichiometry, about 14.7 parts air to 1 part fuel. Get it right and your engine runs clean and smooth. But for real power, you need a richer mix, closer to 12.5, 1 or 13, 1. This extra fuel cools the cylinder, letting you make more horsepower. The ratio changes constantly depending on how you drive. Mastering this is the first step to unlocking your car's true performance. Now, what happens when this delicate cocktail goes horribly wrong? Let's start with a lean mixture. This is when you have too much air and not enough fuel, something like 16:1 or higher. On the surface, it sounds good, doesn't it? You're using less fuel, saving money, saving the planet, all that nonsense. But in reality, running lean is like feeding an athlete nothing but water and celery. The engine will feel weak, hesitant, and sluggish. It will struggle to accelerate, and you'll find yourself flooring the pedal just to keep up with traffic. It's a miserable experience, and worse, it's incredibly dangerous for the engine itself. A lean mixture burns much hotter than a correct one. Think of a blacksmith's forge. Pumping in more air makes the fire hotter. The same thing happens inside your engine's cylinders. This immense heat can lead to something called detonation or engine knock. This is where the fuel and air mixture explodes violently instead of burning smoothly. It sounds like marbles rattling around in a tin can, and each one of those pings is a tiny hammer blow against your pistons. If you ignore it, that heat and pressure will literally melt holes in your pistons, warp your cylinder heads, and turn your beloved engine into a very expensive, very heavy paperweight. It's a catastrophic failure waiting to happen. On the other end of the spectrum, you have a rich mixture. This is too much fuel and not enough air, with a ratio dropping to 11:1 or even lower. Unlike a lean condition, running a bit rich is how you make power, as we've discussed. But go too far, and it all goes pear-shaped. An excessively rich engine will feel bogged down and lazy, as if it's drowning in fuel. You'll see black smoke pouring out of the exhaust, which is basically just unburnt petrol being chucked out into the atmosphere. Your fuel economy will be, to put it mildly, apocalyptic. You'll be on a first-name basis with the staff at your local petrol station. The consequences of running too rich aren't quite as instantly destructive as running too lean, but they're still deeply unpleasant. The unburnt fuel can wash the lubricating oil off the cylinder walls, increasing wear on your piston rings over time. It will foul your spark plugs, causing misfires and poor running. Your catalytic converter, the bit in the exhaust that cleans up emissions, will get clogged and eventually destroyed by the raw fuel being dumped into it. So while a little bit rich is good for power, a lot rich is just wasteful, messy, and in the long run, still bad for your engine's health. Getting it wrong either way is a recipe for disaster. So how do we become the master of this explosive concoction? How do we tune this ratio for more power? The key lies in talking to your car's brain, the engine control unit or ECU. In a modern car, the ECU is the all-powerful dictator that decides exactly how much fuel to inject for any given amount of air at any given moment. To get more power, we need to persuade this dictator to change its mind. This is where the dark art of remapping or chipping comes into play. It involves rewriting the fuel maps inside the ECU to command a richer mixture when you're on the throttle. The most important tool for any tuner is a wideband oxygen sensor. This is a clever little device that you install in your exhaust, and it gives you a precise real-time readout of your air-fuel ratio. Forget the vague guesswork of the old days like reading the color of your spark plugs. A wideband sensor tells you exactly what's happening. You can see the numbers change as you drive. Cruising on the motorway, it should read around 14.7. Floor it up a hill, you want to see it drop to that power-rich zone of 12.5 to 13.0. This sensor is your window into the engine's soul. Without it, you are flying completely blind. The process of tuning involves strapping the car to a dynamometer or a rolling rod, which measures horsepower and torque. A tuner will then run the car through its rev range under load, watching the wideband gauge like a hawk. If the mixture is too lean at high RPM, they will go into the ECU's fuel map and add a bit more fuel in that specific area. If it's too rich at medium throttle, they'll trim it back. It's a painstaking process of making tiny adjustments, running the car again, and checking the results over and over. The goal is to create a new fuel map that is safe, reliable, and delivers the maximum possible power across the entire rev range. Of course, just adding more fuel isn't the whole story. To make proper power, you often need to get more air into the engine as well. This is why people fit bigger turbochargers, less restrictive air filters, and better flowing exhaust systems. More air means you can burn more fuel, and more fuel being burned means a bigger bang, which translates directly into more power. But every time you change a part that affects airflow, you must retune the air-fuel ratio to match. It's a holistic process. You can't just change one thing and expect a miracle. You have to ensure the fuel and air remain in perfect, powerful harmony. In the end, it all comes down to this. The air-fuel ratio is the most fundamental element of engine performance. It is the bedrock upon which all other tuning is built. You can have the biggest turbo in the world and the stickiest tires known to man, but if your engine is running a dangerously lean or ridiculously rich mixture, you will have a car that is slow, unreliable, and quite possibly on the verge of a spectacular, expensive explosion. Getting this ratio right isn't just a recommendation, it is an absolute necessity for anyone serious about making their car faster and better. It's the difference between a professional job and a bodge. Mastering this concept transforms you from a mere driver into a true enthusiast. It gives you an understanding of what is actually happening deep within the metal heart of your machine every time you press the throttle. It's about knowing why a richer mixture under load creates that surge of acceleration, and why a leaner mixture on the cruise saves you fuel. This knowledge empowers you to make intelligent decisions about modifications, to ask the right questions of your tuner, and to appreciate the delicate and violent dance that takes place inside each cylinder thousands of times per minute. It's a brilliant, brilliant thing. The quest for the perfect air-fuel ratio is a quest for controlled violence. It's about finding that razor's edge between maximum power and catastrophic failure, between breathtaking performance and a cloud of black smoke. It's about commanding the engine to be a frugal saint when you want it to be, and an absolute hooligan the moment you demand it. Getting it right unlocks power you never knew you had, improves throttle response, and can even, when done properly, make the engine more reliable under stress. It is, without a shadow of a doubt, one of the most important secrets to unlocking a car's true potential. So the next time you hear an engine roar, don't just hear the noise. Think about the magic mixture, the perfect cocktail of air and fuel being ignited to create that glorious sound and fury. It's not just noise, it's the sound of chemistry and engineering working in perfect, powerful harmony. And on that bombshell, it's probably time to go and see if we can make our mixture just a little bit richer. After all, a bit more power never hurt anyone, probably.